This is an all-star game that presents the NBA's faces of the future. 7 players 25 or younger taking part. LeBron, Dwayne Wade, Gilbert Arenas, Manu Ginobili, Amari Stoudemire, Rashard Lewis, and Yao Ming.
Marv, I think what you'll see here early in this game, too, when you look at the starting lineups, we did this in our Oakland, the disparity of the Western Conference, the size, and the East. So what both coaches will probably do, they'll go to their benches early, because when the East comes in actually with bigger players, the West comes in with smaller. So they're going to try to get the matchups out there so that they'll be able to defend the way they'd like to.
That's amazing, because if you look at it, the West's guards are bigger than the East forwards. But in a game like this, as you know, Doug, it's up and down. I actually think Grant Hill is going to have a big advantage early on. He'll be guarded by either Garnett or Tim Duncan. I think this game could be pretty fun for Grant.
And we're keeping a close eye on the handshakes between the East and the West. Kobe and Shaq did not come together. Incidentally, they did not have dinner plans here in Denver over the weekend. I thought we'd get a perfunctory greeting.
Well, Steve and I didn't eat dinner either, so hopefully we'll be able to get through this telecast tonight, Marv. I don't know. There's a lot of tension here in the booth.
Although you have been on talking terms.
Yes, we have. Yes, we have.
All right, it is Yao Ming and Shaquille O'Neal. And this 54th NBA All-Star game is underway, as LeBron James controls for the East, being played here at the start by Tracy McGrady. Allen Iverson with the step on Kobe Bryant. And here's Vince Carter for 3.
Well, you can see right away Tim Duncan guarding Carter. Very unfamiliar with having to cover a guy who's going to shoot a lot of three-pointers. So the matchup's already a factor here.
Tim Duncan being played by Vince Carter on a switch. Carter now to Kevin Garnett of the T-Wolves. Garnett to Duncan, not able to handle. Grant Hill for Carter of the Nets. James passing on the 3, and as Yao Ming steps away, he scores.
Well, there's the mismatch that you talk about. Anytime there's a turnover and the East runs, the West is going to have a difficult time finding their man. Yao Ming that time was caught on LeBron James.
Here is Garnett. That's a deep 2 for Kevin Garnett. Minnesota only 27-27 after winning 58 games last season, going to the Western Conference Finals, and Kevin Garnett has been playing hurt as of late. Garnett leads the NBA in rebounds and picks off his first of the night.
It's going to be interesting to see how many minutes he plays, as you see Brian with a beautiful feed from Yao Ming. But Kevin McHale apparently contacted Greg Popovich before the game and said, look, my guy's been hurting a little bit. Take it easy, not too many minutes. I wouldn't expect much more than 15, 20 minutes for Garnett.
Shaquille O'Neal wheeling on Yao Ming. Rick Popovich also telling us that Tim Duncan, bothered by a knee and an ankle and a hip, might see limited minutes. The same for Steve Nash, although Steve says let's see how it goes during the course of the game. McGrady with room, yes, and both clubs have come out firing.
Well, Tracy McGrady's game has really picked up over the last 6 weeks. It took he and Yao Ming a little bit time to get together. They made a great trade. David Wesley, Bob Sir has been terrific. John Barry's helped them. They now are playing great basketball.
And they've got a great matchup coming up Tuesday night in San Antonio. They've beaten the Spurs the last couple of times. That'll be fun to watch.
Carter from way downtown. And handled by McGrady, talking about the Rockets after that slow start. They have now soared with 8 straight wins. They're within a game of 5th place Sacramento in that Western Conference race. Iverson able to chase it down. How about Iverson, who has been on a tear? 60-point game recently, a couple of 50-plus games. Grant Hill back after a 4-year hiatus due to the 5 ankle surgeries. He says his legs are 29 years old. His ankle is 42 years old. Carter off the steal. Iverson saving the pass. Iverson met by Bryant. And the pass picked off by McGrady. Reach and steal by O'Neal. Well, he thought Hill would be set for the lob. Lots of ball movement. They can't find a shot. Now Carter spins his way, but it's stolen by Bryant. And Kobe slows it down, throws off the backboard, but way off the mark.
That's one of the things in an all-star game. If the game gets sloppy with a lot of turnovers, that's one thing as a coach you talk to the guys. You know, make the simple play. We want to have some fun, but let's not get a turnover fest.
Oh, nice 2-on-1. Now that is fundamental basketball with the big fundamental, and Shaquille O'Neal likes to call Tim Duncan able to finish it off. Here's James for three.
I think one of the big problems in All-Star game is actually overpassing. You know, guys don't want to shoot every time, and they want to make the spectacular pass. It leads to a lot of turnovers.
Well, here's the two big guys on the break, probably two of the most fundamentally sound guys in the game, Garnett and Duncan. The nice finish. Grant Hill could do nothing about that.
4 minutes gone by, and the game is tied at 8. Garnett, like Shaq got a piece of it. Ron James playing through a case of the flu and a twisted ankle. Carter.
How about the play of Vince Carter, Doug, the last month? Ever since the trade, he has been absolutely spectacular. I don't know if he deserved to be an all-star before the trade, but since, he's absolutely earned his way into this game.
And that net team, if you think if they would have a healthy Richard Jefferson, you've got Jason Kidd back now to go with Vince Carter. You see his numbers, almost 10 more points a game, so he's been spectacular. The Nets still have a chance to make the playoffs even after the slow start.
Oh, to the left hand and banking it home.
It's one of the amazing things about Kobe. Every year he works on something new for his game. Remember a couple of years ago he started getting it down low on the block. Then he goes to the left hand. All great players add something in the offseason.
West 10, the East 8. Serves up a facial on Yao Ming. It counts. And the foul.
This is the old Steve Smith move. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
Goes baseline, left hand, little fake spin, and then right around the big fella with the slam.
I used to have a fine. We would go through our pregame talk, and if we got beat on that move by Steve Smith, our guys got fined because he would try to pull it every game on you.
Well, I played with Steve in San Antonio, and anytime he had a young guy on him, a rookie who was totally unsuspecting, we'd sit on the bench and go, oh, here it comes, and he'd get it every time.
Substitutions for the West. Steve Nash and Sean Marion have checked in. Shaquille O'Neal at the line.
What's Shaq going to here? What is this?
Don Nelson teach him that?
You said they break out something new every year.
Ari Stoudemire has also come on, so 3 Phoenix Suns on the floor. Here is Duncan. So Iverson raced by, and Stoudemire lost the grip. Iverson in the open floor with the look. Iverson to James. And a bad pass, so the East will get it back.
You know, nobody's really talking about Allen Iverson as an MVP candidate, and that's because his team has a mediocre record, but he's having arguably one of his best years. He's playing point guard. His assists are up, minutes, points. He's having a terrific year. It's just the Sixers are mediocre.
And you know what? 60 points is 60 points.
Yes.
I don't care what game you're in. That's incredible, especially for a man his size.
Iverson averaging just under 30 a game, which leads the NBA, plus 7.5 assists, which is among the leaders. Duncan to the left hand. The game is tied at 12. A look-away pass from James. Carter had no angle. Bryant lost it. And fouled by O'Neal.
Oh, Shaq would have loved to have hit Kobe's pocket on that break. You could just see the smile was getting ready to show up on his face.
Substitutions, Dwayne Wade of Miami, Jermaine O'Neal of Indiana checking in for the East.
And here's that early substitution you talked about, Doug. You get Jermaine O'Neal in the game now. Now you've got more traditional matchups. O'Neal on Stoudemire, Shaquille on Duncan.
Nash using the pick. And here's Duncan with a rare 3.
That's incredible. I mean, 7 feet tall. He steps out, shoots a 3, takes over down on the block, shoots the bank shot better than anybody. And as you said, Doug, maybe the most fundamentally sound big guy in the NBA.
Fast start for Duncan. He has 7 points. LeBron James, Allen Iverson out in the backcourt. Shaq is up front with O'Neal. And oh, what a play. And Iverson is able to finish.
I think that's the best part of LeBron James' game, his passing, his vision, his ability to see the floor.
And Stoudemire right back.
You can only imagine what we're going to see from LeBron James when he gets some better shooters on the field. I mean, his assists where they are right now, he'll get 3 or 4 more a game just by finding the open man and knocking down the shots.
You better believe that Jim Paxson will be working on that in the offseason, because I think that's the next step for the Cavaliers.
Here's Jermaine O'Neal. Nash and Bryant now in the backcourt. Nash gets it to Stoudemire. Stoudemire with an impossible angle shot. Marion. Nash should know where to go. Perhaps we'll see the soccer move by Steve Nash.
That was a soccer move by Amari Stoudemire. Hit him right in the forehead.
Well, you talk about the ability of these players to do wonderful things. LeBron James in the post, a little bounce pass. Iverson on the receiving end, a little reverse. And the East off to a good start.
Welcome back to the 2005 NBA All-Star Game in Denver, and with me 10-time All-Star David Robinson, who this weekend is the host of 300 members of the U.S. military and their families. You've always been involved in the community, but what has this weekend meant to you and our troops?
Oh, it's been awesome. These guys are fantastic. See, I got my boys behind me. Don't mess with me today, Craig.
I tell you what, it's been a great weekend for him. I think you can top it off with Destiny's Child singing Soldier. I know how excited they were for that.
I think they had to hold him back. They were all going to run down on the floor when she started singing about Soldier. She needed one. We got some over here.
After being so involved, you won the NBA's Community Service Award, 2-time MVP. What is so important about giving back to the community?
Oh, I mean, you know, they're the ones that make you. You know, the fans are out there. They're supporting you day in and day out. You know, you can't be an NBA star without these people sitting in the stands. And so when your community supports you like that, you have an obligation to give back.
And speaking of the fans, David and the NBA have formed a new website. America Supports You, allowing the fans to log on to wish the troops their best. Just log on to www.americasupportsyou.mil.
Mark. All right, thank you, Craig. Ray Allen of Seattle, Dirk Nowitzki of Dallas have checked in. Here's Jermaine O'Neal. So the West now leads at 19-17. Tim Duncan sitting down. 7 points, 5 rebounds for Tim Duncan. And here is Allen for 3. An effortless, quick release by Ray Allen of the Sonics.
The sweetest stroke in the NBA, and Marvin, he shoots it deep with so little effort. It's just such a pretty shot.
5-point lead for the Western Conference All-Stars. Nice play by Nowitzki to knock it aside.
Fun to see Nash and Nowitzki back together again, although the turnover there from Nash, but those two guys have been incredible together the last 6 years in Dallas.
Oh, what a play by Iverson. The steal goes the length of the court and sets it up for Shaq. But here's Marion right back as the East did not get back.
Well, you were reading all the stuff before the game, and Iverson said his dream was to be able to be on the break and get Shaq for done. Well, we just saw it.
And Dwayne Wade gets inside. What a second season for Dwayne Wade. The 5th overall pick back in 2003. Right back comes Sean Marion.
Doug, what'd you say last week? You said Marion, Stoudemire, Johnson, they should all take Nash out to dinner about once
Every
a
night.
week. I mean,
Every night.
It's incredible what he's done for that team.
Like a quarterback with his linemen.
Iverson with the snap. Stoudemire on the break. O'Neal gets back. And O'Neal able to break it up. West 28, East 23. 2 minutes to play in this first quarter. Marv Albert, Doug Collins, Steve Kerr, Craig Sager, David Aldridge working the sidelines. Ron James not able to hit. Ray Allen on it. Mari Stoudemire. Stoudemire forcing the issue, and he's called for the charge. Let's check in with David Aldridge. David?
Marv, you know, Ray Allen and the Sonics are having an outstanding season, but there's a problem. They have 8 free agents at the end of the year. He's obviously the most notable one. He's been negotiating with the team for 6 months, trying to get a new contract done. He's told them that he'd be willing to take less than the $95 million maximum that they could give him, but after those 6 months, the two sides still don't have a deal. He told me the other day that he's starting to have some doubts that a deal is going to get done in Seattle. And while he won't break off negotiations during the regular season, he said he has no compulsion to stay in Seattle if he does become a free agent. Marv?
Sounds like negotiating publicly.
And it's a shame, too, because Seattle's having such a great year. I always appreciate it when guys just say, look, no comment. I'm not going to talk about my financial situation.
Dwayne Wade gets inside to bring the East Within 3, Manu Ginobili of the San Antonio Spurs, who has had a terrific season, has come on for the first time. Here's Allen for 3.
It's a great shooting team that the West has on the floor now. Nowitzki, Allen, Rashard Lewis, Manu Ginobili to go with Stoudemire. This is a good group.
West with a 6-point lead. Final minute of the first quarter. Gilbert Arenas of the Wizards not able to hit. Nowitzki is on it.
It's one of the things he does best. Get the rebound and just push the ball. Creates a lot of mismatches at the other end for Dallas's opponents.
Nowitzki with the quick release.
And he's more settled this year. Last year they had Antoine Jamison, they had Antoine Walker. They were trying to get all 3 guys playing time. You get Dampier now, he's the center. Nowitzki settled in as the power forward. His numbers are all up and Dallas is playing wonderfully.
Ron James, yes, and the foul, able to swish hands in midair. And he draws the foul, so the West with a 33-27 lead.
This is fun. This is a lot of fun. I'm loving watching Manu Ginobili play. He's just gotten in the ball game, but what a story he is, and so many great first-time All-Stars here tonight. It's a lot of fun to see.
Mark, how about this? 7 players in this game, 25 and under, only 4 players over 30. You talk about the future being beautiful for the NBA. You got some great young players, and we're seeing this on display today.
3-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. Ginobili guarded by Arenas.
And with Nash as the only pure point guard on this West squad, Ginobili's going to play a lot there tonight.
Here's Nowitzki from downtown. Final seconds. Oh, good play. Apparently not good enough, Ginobili pointing out. Yeah, no, that was a clean deflection. LeBron James able to bang it off for Ginobili. 2.6 to go in the quarter. Here's Wade. So that's the end of the first here in Denver. It's the West 33 and the East 27. Tim Duncan, the high point man, 7 points along with 5 rebounds. Second quarter is underway. It's the West 33, the East 27. Allen with the lead for Yao. Yao on the follow. Yao with another rebound. Guy's just padding his all-star stats.
Good idea, though. Dumped the next, but he tried to finger roll.
Oh, Dwayne Wade over Dirk Nowitzki, but could not get it to fall. Ray Allen, Manu Ginobili of the backcourt, Rashard Lewis, Yao Ming, Dirk Nowitzki up front. Lewis trying to get inside, and a foul is called. Ken Mauer makes the call. It is a hack on Dwayne Wade.
Well, what a great story, Rashard Lewis. You think back of that night in draft when he didn't get drafted till the 2nd round. He's worked himself to be an all-star, and very rewarding. A $1.9 million bonus this year for making that all-star team.
And Nate McMillan telling us a couple of weeks back as Allen fires and hits another 3. It's his 3rd of the night. Nate McMillan saying when he informed Rashard Lewis after a practice about 2 weeks ago that he had been named to the All-Star squad, all his teammates were in emotional fashion were really happy for Rashard.
And I love the fact that, as we see Wallace lay it in, I love the fact that the teams that are doing well have been rewarded this All-Star weekend. You see Ray Allen and Rashard Lewis. Seattle's had one of the best seasons of any team in the league. And, of course, Washington with Arenas and Jamison. Great to see teams rewarded for their good play.
Here's Yao Ming with a series of moves, and the West has opened up at 11-point balls. Let's check in with Craig Sager. Craig?
Well, Doug was talking about that 1998 draft when Rashard Lewis was passed over in the first round. His hometown Houston Rockets had 3 picks in the first round. He was all but assured that he was going to be one of them. However, they passed all 3 times. I talked to him yesterday. I said, do you remember who they drafted? He says, I remember it like yesterday. Michael Dickerson was 14th, Bryce Drew 16th, and Mursar Turkan was 18th, none of whom are still in the league.
And he mentioned those names in rapid-fire fashion. He's been thinking about it. Here's Lewis.
Right on cue, Rashard Lewis.
Well, he's got a wonderful game because he can make the 3-point shot, but he's so quick on the perimeter that big guys can't handle it. Then he takes the smaller guys down on the block where he can really post up.
I think that asset of being in the low post for them is really what separates Seattle from a lot of the other teams, and it gives them all those 3-point shots.
Arenas not able to hit. Lewis with the rebound. We've been talking about the Sonics, and they are certainly one of the surprise teams of the season. 35-15 to lead the Northwest Division. Once again, a foul is called. This time it's Ben Wallace. Here comes Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq will check in, as will Tracy McGrady. Manu Ginobili will sit down.
And Tracy McGrady replaces Manu Ginobili.
Shaquille O'Neal, 3 of 3 from the field, 6 points, 3 blocked shots, so he'll match up with Yao Ming.
Look at this, a set play. Doug, we talked to the coaches. They said before the game, we each added about 3 plays or so. That's the first time I've seen anybody run any of them.
That's the old NBA single-double play. When in doubt, just go single-double.
Oh, Wallace not able to hit on the slam. Here's Shaq. A rare bank shot for Shaq. It will be East ball, last touch by the West as a timeout is taken. 3 minutes gone by. Cedric the Entertainer, who's been enjoying the festivities throughout the weekend. Rob Reiner is here. Jay-Z and Beyonce did a great job prior to the introduction of the starting lineups. There's Nelly. Doug, did you say Meathead and the hip hoppers? Wasn't that a group in the
That's exactly right.
That's terrible. Wallace trying to give it back. Instead, it goes back to the West.
Tried to throw it to you, Marv. You were open, but you didn't really come to the ball.
My hand, I've lost it. Strictly right-handed.
You're inferring that you once had it.
No, that's true. Thank you, Steve.
Sure.
Nowitzki up front with Yao and Lewis, and once again, Shaq able to break it up. Came up with a steal. Here's Gilbert Arenas of the Wizards. And rebounded by Yao. The West has dominated off the board.
Now 26-11, actually 27-11 now, and they're shooting 51%. Also 4 of 6 from behind that three-point line. So they've got the rebounding, they've got the inside-out attack, and that's why they have this 13-point lead.
Antoine Jamison of the Wizards making his first appearance. Paul Pierce of the Celtics coming on for the first time.
So Zydrunas Ilgauskas now the only player who hasn't been in. Remember, last year he only played 4 minutes in this game, so like to see him get a little more involved in the action here tonight.
Here's O'Neal. Rebounded by Lewis. McGrady from way downtown. Handled by Jamison. Combination of Antoine Jamison and Gilbert Arenas and Larry Hughes been sidelined by injury, revitalizing the Wizards. Nice move off the dribble by Grant Hill.
Boy, Gilbert Arenas is having a sensational year, and you see Grant there. That's part of his game, starting to get back a little bit. That attack of the basket. He's been a jump shooter a lot early in this season.
That really had to reinvent his game, didn't he, Doug? And his jump shot is better than ever.
Hill from Wade. Dwayne Wade setting it up with the lob.
There's a little flashback of Grant Hill, that explosive power. He said he's just now starting to get his legs. He doesn't have his stamina. And he says he still thinks he can become a lot better.
Nowitzki with some room. Yes.
When he gets an open shot, if he misses it, you know, you're sort of shocked. This guy is such a magnificent shooter.
Dirk now averaging 27 a game, third in scoring behind Allen Iverson and Kobe Bryant. Jamison. Nowitzki starts the break. Here's Allen with the lob for Lewis. Back tap. Wade is on it. He has Shaq on the left side. Goes to Hill. Back to Shaq. Oh! Shaquille O'Neal whipping by Ray Allen.
I always love when Shaq, when he dunks or does something, the way he goes back down the floor. And the guy is such a great teammate.
He's such a great guy for the NBA, isn't he? I mean, he's so wonderful with fans and teammates.
I like the aftermath of this dunk. If you just watch this dunk, you know, Shaq dunks it and then watch it as he saunters back down the floor. He just sort of gives it the old shoulders, and you know, there wasn't too much there, you know.
Well, he picks it up a little bit.
Foul on Wade, putting Yao Ming at the line. Once again, Yao, the leading vote getter for the All-Star game. The first ever #1 pick to come from an International Basketball League, and it appears that Jeff Van Gundy has changed his philosophy in terms of Yao Ming and Tracy McGrady.
Yeah, you know, when I was in there the last time and talked to Jeff, he'd started out most of his games 4 or 5 touches to Yao Ming to get him going, and he got off to slow starts. He's sort of gone away from that a little bit. Tracy McGrady's been much more active early, and you can see the results. Yao looks much fresher now than I thought he did 6 weeks ago. He's playing a little bit more spring in his legs.
And Mark, remember when we were in Dallas for that game, he had had a talk with Van Gundy as Pierce knocks down the jumper. And Van Gundy said, look, Tracy, I need you to be more aggressive. Remember, he had 48 that night, and his season has been totally different ever since.
On the subject of Jeff Van Gundy, with Jeff's brother Stan coaching the East here, they are the first ever brother combination in the history of the NBA All-Star game. Here is Wayne Wade on the alley-oop for Grant Hill.
Oh, we going right into it. It's pickup ball, man. Winded already. Hey, yo, you tired, man? Are you tired? Come on, man. First time out, we down, man. We got to go. Can't breathe out here, man. Right there, get back. Ah! There you go.
Oh, that high altitude on the Rocky Mountains. Steve, when you're back here in Denver, do you find yourself lightheaded?
I always find myself lightheaded, Mark. No matter what city I'm in.
Well, Zydrunas Ilgauskas has checked in, so Rick Popovich, Stan Van Gundy have used their complete rosters here in this first half as planned. Shot clock down to 4, which is rare. Here is Ginobili. And the long rebound fielded by Iverson. McGrady back. Iverson whips right by him and draws the foul.
You know, when I listen to that sound, I just can't think of Allen Iverson ever getting tired.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy has got more energy. I think he could play 2 games.
No. But it is a factor. You know, when you come up here to play, I always felt that it's that first burst, that first 3 or 4 minutes, and you feel like you can't get any air. Once you get that second win, you're fine.
Steve was gasping during our on-camera opening.
Well, the problem for me when I played it, I only played 4 or 5 minutes the whole game, so I never had a chance to get my second win.
The East in the midst of a 9-3 run. It is now a 6-point game, just under 6 minutes remaining in this first half. Kevin Garnett is back. Oh, Iverson with the steal and fouled by Lewis.
That's going to be a clear path.
Third half, 1 shot in the ball.
I've always felt like when you were coaching against Allen Iverson, you wanted him to have to guard the ball. When he was off the ball, he totally disrupted your game. He could come from the corner and go all the way to the top and intercept the pass, and you saw him read that play in the passing lane, and he's so quick. But that's where he picks up all the steals.
Allen Iverson, the MVP of the 2001 All-Star Game in Washington. He's won 3 scoring titles, trying to make it number 4 this year, averaging 29.9. Let's go to David Aldridge for more on Allen Iverson.
Marv, you know, Allen Iverson's going to turn 30 years old in June, and I don't think there's any guy on this floor that's matured more in the last few years. He said that he used to be bitter about always being in the public eye, but now he realizes that that's his life, and he's enjoying it more and more. As he told me the other day, when I look in the mirror, I'm okay with it.
All right, David, Iverson with 5 points, 5 assists in this first half.
And he was actually the leader on that team in Athens. He was the voice of reason with all those younger players as they were trying to find a way to win that gold medal. But you have to admire, you know, Marv, you and I did the game in Washington, D.C., the finish that he put on in that game to win that MVP trophy. That was one of the better games. I think it sort of led to Dikembe Mutombo being traded for later on in that year as the Philadelphia 76ers went to the NBA Finals.
Yes, Dikembe very impressive in that game. Isn't that amazing how a one performance can show a coach that a guy may have a little more than he thought? And that coach, as it turned out, was Larry Brown.
Right.
I think he'd had a few other good performances before that, Marv. I mean, Dikembe was well established at that point, but I do understand your point. Kind of.
Well, it kind of drove it home.
Yes, yes.
It impressed him. It was right in front of his eyes.
There you go.
Paul Pierce. You are lightheaded, you know.
Trying to get my second win.
All right, here's Carter for 3. Vince Carter of the New Jersey Nets, who averages 22 per game, and as we discussed earlier, has just turned it around since coming over from the Toronto Raptors. The East in the midst of a 19-3 run, looking to add to it. Iverson went over the head. Jamison able to save it. Here's Pierce. Yes. So the East has taken a 5-point lead.
Well, the great thing about an all-star game is a 20-point deficit in the second quarter is maybe like 2 or 4 in the regular season. It means nothing.
We've seen an 18-point swing here. West led by as many as 13. Coming up on 3.5 remaining in this first half. Here is Ilgauskas. Talking about Grant Hill coming back from injuries. How about Zydrunas Ilgauskas, who's been healthy these last 3 years? The East with 17 unanswered points the last 2 minutes and 43 seconds. A 23-3 run since the West led by 13. Steve Nash to Kobe Bryant.
There's a set play out of the set play.
That's right.
And who delivers the pass? None other than Steve Nash.
Boy, Greg Popovich absolutely adores Steve Nash. He was just raving about him in our talk.
Bryant with the steal that goes behind the back to get it to Marion. Oh, what a play. Kobe Bryant comes up with the steal and then a beautiful feed to Sean Marion.
The unsung hero of all the 3 All-Stars, really. He's a guy who changed positions, moved from the small forward to the power forward, one of the leading rebounders in the league, does a lot of the dirty work. It's good to see him here.
Paul Pierce from downtown. Here's Jameson. And Nash pushing it. Manu Ginobili. Ginobili with a twister. Oh, what a shot. Mano's so excited to be here as an All-Star. In fact, he flew his family in from Argentina.
Maybe the most grateful All-Star I have ever seen as Iverson knocks down the jumper. I had a chance to visit with Manu the other night, and it's just so refreshing to see how happy he is to be here.
Say all these segues where we talk about a guy and they're scoring on the next play. It's like this is choreographed.
On cue.
Manu Ginobili, a huge star back home in Argentina, 2-time MVP of the Italian League, and has blossomed in his 3rd NBA season. For exclusive 2005 NBA All-Star Game post-game coverage, tune into NBA TV. That'll be immediately following the game. The East now leads by 1. The West is led by as many as 13. The East at 1 point led by 7. Here's Bryant. Pierce able to poke it away. Duncan trying to set the screen. Nash for 3. Ilgauskas with the save. And back comes Carter. Here's Carter putting Vince Carter goes glass to himself right back. Kobe Bryant from Amari Stoudemire. So the East now leads by 1. The crowd still talking about that solo dash by Carter.
That's the old Tracy McGrady play. I think he's done that 4 times in All-Star games.
Iverson. Allen Iverson has had a terrific first half. 9 points for Iverson. Ginobili spinning on Ilgauskas. Here's Pierce. It counts, and the foul.
Let's take a look at Vince Carter. As you said, Doug, taking a page out of Tracy McGrady's book. He sees the opening, throws it up to himself. Look how high he jumps. This is ridiculous. My question is, does he get an assist to himself? Does he get a shot attempt and an offensive rebound? How do you score that?
We talked about that today. I mean, is it a shot, a rebound, and a score, or is it an assist and a basket? Who knows? I don't know. We'll have to find that out.
Check with the official scores. I believe it's a shot, a rebound, and a score. Not an assist, though. That will count and a foul. So Tim Duncan will head to the line. Looking back at that move by Vince Carter, and once again seeing the leaping ability of Vince, shades of his victory in the slam dunk competition back in 2000.
And I can just hear Kenny Smith right now saying, okay, let's challenge Josh Smith. That's what he was talking about. Let's get Vince Carter, let's get Jason Richardson, let's get all these dunkers, Kobe Bryant, and let's have a dunk-off next year.
Wouldn't be bad to watch, would it?
Here is Iverson. That shot blocked by Bryant. We have received official word on that foray as Duncan takes it to the rim. On that move by Carter, it is scored officially as a single shot.
Nothing.
That's it.
No rebound, no shot.
You wonder about that. Does that mean all the other stuff didn't happen?
Is this like a tree falls in the forest? Or what, are you getting philosophical on us?
He passed to himself, but he didn't.
Not happen. Iverson One on the shot clock. Pierce unable to hit from downtown. As time runs out in this first half, with the East leading the West 61-59. The high point man is Tim Duncan, 5 of 7. 11 points. Allen Iverson with 9 points and 8 assists. Vince Carter had the play of the game. He has 8 points. Let's go to Craig with the answer.
Well, where did you find the answer to catch your breath? Earlier you said you couldn't get it. Next thing you know, you have 9 points, 8 assists.
Don't matter. I still can't find my breath. It's tough playing out here with this thin air. I knew it was going to be. I hadn't played in a couple of days, so I know my teammates at home shocked to see me breathing like this, but it is what it is.
Your teammate, Doug Allen, says Allen Iverson never runs out of breath.
No, I mean, I usually don't. If you throw the ball up, I'm all right, but right now I'm struggling.
What about the play by Vince Carter? Your comment being on the quote when you saw that.
I mean, it was just a great play. It was something that I really expect from him, though. You know, you don't never know what he's going to do, but you always expect something big.
All right, thanks a lot. Good first half. Allen Iverson leading the comeback. 9 points, 8 assists. And we'll be back with a halftime report. EJ in the game.
Welcome back to the Pepsi Center, Denver, Colorado. Marv Albert, Steve Kerr, Doug Collins, Craig Sager, David Aldridge. As we head to the second half, it's the East 61 and the West 59. But looking back at this first half, the most memorable play of the half pulled off by the New Jersey Nets' Vince Carter, and this was out of the pages of Tracy McGrady, who did it twice in All-Star competition. Here is Tracy with the pass to himself off glass.
Yeah, actually, Vince's distant cousin, so maybe this is something in the family, but this is the kind of play that fans come to see. I mean, look at this tonight. He gets up so high, and he is so strong, and this arena just lit up when he made that play.
As for the first half, the West at one point led by as many as 13. The East led by as many as 7. It's a 2-point game right here.
Well, Marv, it was really the rebounding. The first 15 minutes, the West 27-11 on the boards. They're up 13. And in the last 9 minutes, the East leads on the boards 12-5. And they end up with a 15-point run there to end the half. So it's rebounding really that's been the tail of the tape here with both teams.
A look at the stat line, the Jeep game summary. East at 48%, the West 49%. That's customary. You rarely go to the free throw strike in all-star play. 23 assists for the West and 16 for the East, led by Allen Iverson, who has 13 turnovers committed by the West. That allowed the East to get back into it. And the West has had the edge off the boards, 32-23. And 17 straight run by the East got them back into it. Overall, a 23-3 spurt. And so it is a 2-point lead here at the half. The East 61, the West 59. Let's check in with Craig.
Well, at halftime, Greg Popovich told his team that offensively they need to move the ball better. They got off to a good start, but he said you have to change sides. They kind of went to the first guy shooting the ball in the second quarter. He also said that Kevin Garnett and Tim Duncan, who played just 9 minutes in the first half, he plans to rest them throughout the entire fourth quarter. Kevin Garnett bothering a little bit by knee tendonitis, and Tim Duncan an ankle, a knee, had a hip injury. So we may see the best of Duncan and Garnett here in the third quarter, and they plan to rest them in the fourth.
Although I would think if it's a close game, there will be temptations.
Well, remember, Popovich said before the game, it's the ultimate test of discipline for him as a coach. Can he keep these two guys out of the lineup?
Here's Kobe Bryant off the steal. Tim Duncan, nice ball movement. And the West has tied it.
Well, with that said, if that's going to be the case, I think it'd be imperative for the West to try to get a little bit of breathing distance here in this third period with these two guys playing.
Both teams back to their starting lineups. The East with Grant Hill, Vince Carter, Shaquille O'Neal on the front line. Allen Iverson and LeBron James in the backcourt. Foul on Bryant, his second.
And here's that strange matchup we had at the beginning of the game. Tim Duncan guarding Vince Carter out on the perimeter.
Remember, he started out the game with a 3 because Duncan is so used to guarding the basket.
Shot clock is down to 3. Hill. The West with their starting lineup. Kevin Garnett, Tim Duncan, Yao Ming up front. Kobe Bryant, Tracy McGrady at the guards. Here is Kobe. And that pass deflected. He thought he was fouled.
But he still looks a little rusty, doesn't he? I mean, he missed a good portion of the season, 14 games with the ankle injury, and he's still struggling a little bit out there.
He looks a little heavier.
Does look bigger.
Last time I saw him.
I agree.
McGrady looked like he was going to go behind the back, and it's tipped home by Duncan.
There's the rebounding once again. This is the rebounding group that dominated the first part of the game, which gave the West the big lead.
15 points for Tim Duncan. 7 of 9 from the field. Here's James for 3. LeBron James, who has come so far with that perimeter shot since his rookie year.
Yeah, he's improved from 41% last year as Garnett gets the dunk to 49 this year. And you know, watching him, I see such better balance with that jump shot. He's got a wider base. He's not fading away. Remember last year, Doug, he'd shoot that Michael Jordan fade away, but he didn't have a foundation to his jump shot. He's really building it now.
O'Neal with the head fake. O'Neal fighting position.
Well, he looks quick. He has gotten better as the season has gone on. He got off to a little bit of a slow start, but his numbers are just picking up dramatically.
Jack has 10 points. McGrady, yes. Maryland is deflected and hit underneath the backboard. The West up 67, 66, 2.5 gone by in the third quarter. Carter for 3. Vince Carter has done it from inside, from outside. He now has 11.
Doug, you talked about Ray Allen shooting that 3 so easily. Vince Carter makes it look so smooth, too. He's just so strong and athletic. He just flicks that ball from 28 feet. It's so simple for him.
Oh, it's McGrady. The official Ken Mauer went down. He's all right. Hill off the rebound. Hill having difficulty controlling the dribble and stepped out.
You know, he talked about that yesterday, that he doesn't have a great handle on the ball yet. When I coached Rand in Detroit, he was my point guard and one of the best in the league. And he's still starting to get that handle. He said his stamina's not quite there. Doesn't feel as good with the basketball yet.
Garnett over James. 6 points for Kevin Garnett of the Minnesota Timberwolves.
It's going to be interesting to watch Minnesota, Doug, down the stretch here with Kevin McHale coaching the team now. They're playing with a lot of passion, a lot of fire, but they've got a long way to go.
Talked with Kevin the other night doing the Minnesota-Cleveland game as Garnett takes it to the rim. We asked Kevin if he checked with some of his former teammates or former coaches before he took the job as head coach following the departure of Flip Saunders, and he said, yes, I did. And I said, what did he say? What did they say? And he said, are you nuts becoming a head coach?
Well, he said, I know it's not one of the creme de la creme jobs in the NBA coaching, but Flip Saunders is a wonderful coach and did a great job there at Minnesota. He's going to end up somewhere, you know that.
Wherever he wants, I think.
Absolutely.
He's probably going to be #1 on everybody's list.
He's a brilliant coach. He and Phil Jackson, the two out there everybody's speaking about now.
McGrady off the rebound, finding Garnett. It counts and the foul.
You know, Mark, just to follow up on that Minnesota going in now, you know, it's interesting. They were the #1 seed last year in the East. If the playoffs started today, they would not be in. The Lakers are in the 8th spot, and it's going to be interesting to see which one of those two teams I think wins, because I think you see Houston's going to be in, Memphis, Dallas, Sacramento, Phoenix, Seattle, and San Antonio. So that 8th spot to me is the one that's open. And don't count Denver out, because Denver has a better home schedule coming up. Although they're under 500 right now, they played a lot more road games. That will change in the second part of the season.
And since George Karl took over, the Nuggets have won 7 of 11. Foul on Duncan. Talking about the Lakers a moment ago. For more on that, let's go to David Aldridge.
Marv, you mentioned it, and Phil and Doug mentioned it as well. The Lakers have the 8th spot in the West, and they want to make sure that they maintain that. I'm told that owner Jerry Buss has mandated that his team make the playoffs this year. And to that end, the Lakers have been looking at a number of possible trades. Now, one trade that everybody has been talking about here during All-Star Weekend that they have heard, and I've heard also from sources that was at least discussed, was Lamar Odom going to Sacramento for Peja Stojakovic and Bobby Jackson. Now, both the Kings and the Lakers, when contacted, denied that such talks took place, which usually means they took place, guys.
Let's see, the Lakers point of view, I can certainly understand that because you have two similar players. Oh, Bryant gets it down low to McGrady with Kobe Bryant and Lamar Odom.
Yeah, you know, I never felt like when they were playing together that they ever got in sync. Lamar Odom needs the basketball on top of the floor to make some plays in the post, and he didn't get it much with it. Kobe did a lot of dominating of the basketball, and they really haven't played much together this season because of Kobe's injury.
Of course, as you guys know, for every 100 trades that are discussed, about one of them actually goes through. So who knows? This could be just conjecture at this point.
Is that a slap at David Aldridge?
You know, are you going to throw me under the bus? Or, I mean, it was merely a statement that I think is true. I think Doug would agree, but feel free. Go ahead.
Just trying to get you in a little trouble here. All right, Shaq to the line where he has struggled.
Maybe you ought to nickname Marv the Agitator. Everybody's got a nickname here this week. We could be the Agitator.
Well, we have the Czar of the Telestrator. Now we have the Czar of Agitation.
There you go.
You know, with the absence of the Czar, there's a need for this somewhere.
And you know what? We really got to talk about Mike Fratello, the job he's done down there in Memphis, taking over for UB Brown, and how well that team has played. Casola's been hurt, Bonzi Wells, James Posey, and they played great basketball.
Kobe Bryant. So Kobe with the reverse, and the West now leads 77-71. Steve Nash is checked back in. Greg Popovich pulling Yao Ming. Off balance three offered up by LeBron James. And here is McGrady.
I've never seen a good shooter ever scissor his legs like that, like Tracy does on his shot.
Iverson, yes. Allen Iverson, 13 points along with 8 assists.
I think McGrady and Vince Carter both do that little scissor kick, and some of these guys, Doug, are so athletic. And speaking of athletic, watch this.
LeBron James taking it to the rim to bring the East within 2. 11 points for LeBron in his first All-Star game. Chris Tucker, Vivica A. Fox, Terrell Owens of the Philadelphia Eagles, and Puff Daddy with a Shaq shoe, or is that an oversized cell phone? All right, let's check in again with David Aldridge. David?
Hey guys, with Dwayne Wade here. Dwayne, how have you enjoyed your first All-Star experience?
Oh, it's been great. It's been everything that I ever dreamed it would be. And this is icing on the cake. To get to play an All-Star game in front of everybody, I'm just having fun.
What's better, the playing or the hanging out?
The playing is better. That's what we do. Play basketball. But the hanging out is great. You get to hang out with people that you grew up watching, people that you see on TV all the time. So it's great.
Is there any one guy whose shoes you definitely want after the game?
If I could pick somebody's shoes I definitely want, I'd take AI.
Why?
I mean, just I got tremendous respect for him. He's a warrior, and I like to have his shoes.
Dwayne, thanks very much. Good luck the second half. Back to you, Mark.
All right, a wonderful second season for Dwayne Wade, who has averaged 24 points, 7 assists. Garnett able to get inside on the West with a 79-77 advantage. Dwayne Wade called by his teammate Shaquille O'Neal Flash. And they have teamed up to lead the Miami Heat to the best record in the Eastern Conference. Here is Iverson. And back comes Bryant. Bryant and Nash now work the backcourt for the West. Bryant with a driving hook. Handled by O'Neal. LeBron James batting it away. Able to save it. Now Pierce backs it up. Jermaine O'Neal has returned. O'Neal, that's Jermaine along with Shaquille O'Neal on the front line with Paul Pierce. LeBron James out on Iverson in the backcourt. That will count as a goaltend.
You know, Mark, seeing Paul Pierce out on the floor makes me think of the Eastern Conference race. That third spot, whoever wins the Atlantic Division. And we see the drive here by Jermaine O'Neal, another team that would like to find a way to get back into the playoffs with all the injuries and the suspensions. But that third spot's going to be so vital. You'll play 6, even though you wouldn't have the home court advantage. But 8 gets 1, which would be Miami. You do not want to have to do that. So winning that Atlantic is very important.
Here's McGrady. Looked like there was some contact.
Well, and at the same time, the race at the bottom is going to be for 6. Everybody is going to be dying to get number 6. They'll probably have the home court.
That counts for the foul. Beautiful pass from LeBron James to set it up. O'Neal with 6 points.
Well, this is why this guy is so highly regarded around the league. LeBron James is a pass-first superstar, and you see the finish there by Jermaine O'Neal, but it's so rare to have a guy that athletic who thinks pass first. You know, most guys are a little less athletic, and they have to pass. He can do whatever he wants. He still thinks pass.
Well, think about Jermaine O'Neal. You talk about the respect these young players have for this game. He could have broken Reggie Miller's Indiana scoring record this year. He had a chance to do that. Took himself out of the game, and he said, you know what? That's Reggie's record. I don't, you know, the game is over here. About 2 minutes to go. He could have broken the record, but he said that's Reggie's. He deserves that. You know, it says a lot about the respect that these young guys do have for some of these super players through the years.
Manu Ginobili just came back, and he's fouled by Jermaine O'Neal. Antoine Jamison checking in for the East, replacing LeBron James. Here comes Gilbert Arenas for
Number 34.
Allen Iverson. LeBron with 13 points, 7 of the 13 here in the third quarter. James with 5 rebounds and 4 assists. Point number 5 for Manu Ginobili. What a year for Manu, sparking Argentina to the gold at the Olympic Games in Athens. All-star selection, 27 years old, easily the most popular athlete in Argentina. Pierce to the rim. The East leads by 3.
Yeah, Ginobili has really changed that Spurs team. And talking to Greg Popovich before the game, as Nowitzki knocks down the 3, he said, you know what, I've had to learn to live with Manu because my instinct as a coach is to control things, and I've got to let him go because he does so many things well, and you've got to give up a couple of turnovers, a couple of bad plays because he's so effective with what he does.
Game tied at 84, just under 4 minutes remaining in this third quarter. Pierce, and last touched by the East. See Nash so anxious to get the ball, wants to break up court.
Well, what I love about a good push up the floor, like Nash just did, is Ginobili throws it out of bounds.
There's one of those plays you were talking about.
Yeah, other than that. But when you push the ball up the floor, you know, Doug, even if nothing's there, now you got about 20 seconds to run your offense. And you'll see Nash do that every play with the Suns. And even when they don't have that quick 2, they've got plenty of time to work the clock and get a good shot.
McGrady to the crossover. McGrady lost the handle. And the ball back to the East.
And I think when you look at Phoenix, they're one of the few teams that runs even after the other team scores. They're always going to keep the pressure on you, so you can never relax.
You see that move by McGrady? That was a page out of Ginobili's book. He's popularized that move now, and you see more and more guys trying that. Their little crossover with the same hand.
And O'Neal getting inside. It counts, and he draws the foul. So Jermaine will head to the line. Foul on Nowitzki. Now Tracy McGrady will sit down, and Ray Allen makes his return. Jermaine O'Neal looking to complete the 3-point play, and he does. 10 points for Jermaine, 8 of the 10 here in the third. The East with a 3-point advantage. Nowitzki lost the dribble. And a timeout is called by Stan Van Gundy. Just under 3 to go in this third quarter. The East 87, the West 84. K.C. Jones coaching the Eastern squad to victory in Denver back in '84. Frank Layden, the coach of the West. O'Neal stripped by Nowitzki. Just under 3 minutes to play in the third. The East with an 87-84 lead. Ray Allen, Steve Nash, Manu Ginobili in a 3-guard alignment for the West. The big men are Nowitzki and Stoudemire. They work it around. Nice ball movement. Allen for 3. And back comes Pierce of the Boston Celtics. Here is Gilbert Arenas going runners.
He's had a magnificent year for Washington. When Larry Hughes got hurt, he picked up his numbers. The team is 30-22 right now, battling Cleveland for a home court advantage in the Eastern Conference playoffs. What a wonderful year it's been in Washington with he and Antoine Jamison.
You know, Larry Hughes had a great shot at making the All-Star team, too. Unfortunately for him, the injury occurred, but they've got a chance to really make a run here in the East.
And O'Neal on a nice setup, so the East now leads by 7 points. 10 of Jermaine's 12 points in this third quarter. Allen's pass deflected away, last touch by the East. Let's go to Craig Sager. Craig?
Well, remember at halftime, Coach Popovich told us he did not plan to play Kevin Garnett or Tim Duncan in the fourth quarter. During that last time out, he talked to both of them. He said, you guys are through for the night. Duncan says, you may think I'm through for the night, but I'm not putting any ice on yet. So apparently if it's close to the end, Duncan may change those plans.
Guys want to play, Marv. You come here and, you know, you think I'll just make a cameo appearance. These guys are great because they're competitors. And you know what I'm thinking? I see Shaq over there resting. I'm seeing him poised for a huge finish here tonight to try to get this East team a victory.
Blocking foul was called on Pierce. 14 on the shot clock for the West.
Tough matchup here for Ilgauskas with the speed of Stoudemire, who kind of bails him out with a fall-away jumper.
And Wallace just checked back in. His pass intercepted by Nowitzki. Allen on a catch and shoot from downtown. Ray Allen with 12 points. That's his 4th 3.
Well, without Garnett and Duncan, assuming they don't play in the entire fourth quarter, I think you're looking at a lot of perimeter shooting down the stretch for the West. I'd look for Ray Allen to be out there quite a bit.
Ilgauskas is fouled by Stoudemire.
You know, it's going to be interesting to see what Cleveland does. You know, LeBron James is really lobbying to keep Zydrunas Ilgauskas. They also want to have cap space to add a shooter to that team. As we know, Steve, we've talked about them needing another shooter. There's been discussions of Ray Allen, Joe Johnson, Michael Redd, maybe Larry Hughes, guys who are free agents. But they need to keep this big man in the middle, so they're going to have to manage this cap in such a way they can add and help LeBron on the perimeter. But at the same time, this guy has been great since he's come back. He's averaging a career-high 17.5 points this season, and he's been healthy, and he gives them a low-post presence in the East.
Minute remaining in this third quarter. The East up by 6. Well, he was looking for a cutter. There was no cutter.
There was actually some defense. A couple of guys stopped Wallace's roll to the basket, forced the turnover.
20th turnover committed by the West. The East with 11. Jameson not able to hit. Back comes Allen, picked up by Pierce. Allen accelerates, and that was a pass. That was not a shot, although it did not work. Ilgauskas with a little skip, got away with it, hit top of the moves.
Tell you what, he's a little more athletic than people think. We've seen him make some acrobatic moves.
And Nash gets it right back. It's the East 95, the West 89.
Well, they're going to open the floor here for Gilbert Arenas. Last possession. Nobody's been able to keep this guy in front of them all season long. So if you get help, look for somebody to spot up and shoot a three, either Jameson or Paul Pierce.
Final seconds of the quarter. Here is Arenas. 3 quarters complete here in Denver. The East 95 and the West 89. The East ending the third quarter on a 24-12 run. Now look at Eastern Conference head coach Stan Van Gundy of the Miami Heat. His first All-Star game. Longtime assistant under Pat Riley, took over as the head coach last season following an 0-7 start. Miami fell 11 games under the 500 mark. They turn it around. They win 17 of their final 21. They finished 4th in the East. And as this fourth quarter gets underway, Gilbert Arenas hits from downtown. So he's beginning to show some signs. And how about Miami this year as they completely restructure the club off the trade involving Shaquille O'Neal. And that tip will count. The basket counts, says the outside official, Bill Spooner. And a loose ball foul. is called.
Mark, where you've seen the coaches' influences in a game like this is after timeouts, coming out of quarter breaks, you could see the play setup that Stan Van Gundy sets up for Gilbert Arenas. They drive baseline, kick it along that sideline. Teams love to make that play, and he hits the three. But at these timeouts, that's where you're going to see it.
And then all hell breaks loose for the next 11 minutes.
And it's a jump ball. The basket counted a moment ago on the tip, and then Ilgauskas away from the ball called for the foul on Marion, so he shot just the one free throw, and now they'll jump it up.
Marv, talking about Stan Van Gundy, can you imagine if you had told him when he was 0-7 a year ago, you'd said, next year, you'll be coaching the All-Star game, and Shaq will be on your team? I mean, he would have thought you were nuts.
Sweet dreams.
Yeah.
Stan talking about how fragile this business is as Wade fires one up, citing Flip Saunders, the coach of the Western squad last year. Minnesota wins 58 games a year ago. And foul is called. It's a loose ball affair once again. It is on Arenas.
And you take a guy like Rick Carlisle, who coached the game here last year. You see what's happened to Indiana this year with the suspensions and all that's going on there. Right now, they're not even in the play. I mean, they're not even in the playoffs.
Here is Yao Ming, and the rebound handled by Ben Wallace. LeBron James back on the floor, and he's apparently out of bounds or pushed. No, Jack Neese says a push. Foul on Allen.
We're getting close to that magical 8-minute mark in an All-Star game. That's when the switch gets turned. That's when the coaches start getting guys in and out of games. This last 8 minutes is going to be fun.
And very shortly, we will see the return of Shaquille O'Neal. The East up by 7. Yao with the block of Wade. Kept alive, though. And here's James. Oh, it's put down by Wallace. Ben Wallace on the follow, and the East opens up a 9-point lead.
Well, when Yao Ming comes over to block a shot, it leaves the basket area wide open. You look at the small lineup the West has out there, they're in trouble on the boards.
Here is Yao off the pass for Marion. Minute and a half gone by in this fourth quarter. Marv Albert, Doug Collins, Steve Kerr, Greg Sager, David Aldridge on the sidelines. Ilgauskas, and that'll be a jump ball. We check in with David Aldridge.
Well, guys, Doug mentioned earlier about Zydrunas Ilgauskas being a free agent. Talked to him before the game, and he said, look, the biggest reason why he wants to stay in Cleveland, stands about 6'8", 245. Said that LeBron James gets him 2 or 3 layups every game. And he said, for a big guy like me, it's so important to get into a rhythm early, and LeBron does that for me, guys.
All right, David. The East controlling that jump ball. Arenas not able to hit Ilgauskas with a behind-the-back attempt on the save. But back comes Rashard Lewis for the West, and it's stolen by Wade. Here's Wade with a breakaway. Wade with the reverse stuff.
East is making a little push here. Is Greg Popovich going to be able to resist Duncan and Garnett coming back into this game?
Marion with the runner. Sean Marion of the Phoenix Suns, averaging 19 points, 11 rebounds, which is a career high. One of 3 Suns to make the All-Star team. And Gilbert Arenas beginning to heat up. He missed his first 5 shots and now showing signs.
Probably a little nervous. You know, this is his first time to be here on this kind of stage, but this guy can get a shot anytime he wants to.
Oh, Yao showing a little chicanery that did not work.
Laughing his way back down the court.
The East in possession. They lead by 9. Kobe Bryant getting set to make his return. James looking to go back door, but Wade not able to hang on. Here comes Kobe Bryant.
Now, Mark, one of the teams we haven't talked much about today is the Detroit Pistons. Ben Wallace, we saw him with a follow-up dunk a couple plays ago, but they are now playing the kind of basketball they played going into the playoffs to win the championship last year. So they're poised to make that run once again.
Pistons have won 9 of their last 10 games. Ginobili for 3.
Detroit and Miami really look like the class of the East. Of course, Cleveland will have something to say about it, but it's looking more and more like a clash between the Heat and the Pistons in May.
Ilgauskas with the tip. So Zydrunas, who a couple of years back in his all-star debut saw only 4 minutes of play, has been a factor. He now has 8 points. And Manu Ginobili cuts it to a 9-point East lead.
Well, it'll be interesting also with Miami. So much speculation that Alonzo Mourning, is, if he passes physical, will be joining that team to give them another presence in the lane going into the playoffs.
Blocking foul on Ginobili, trying to draw the charge, which he usually does so well. 7.5 remaining in this fourth quarter. The East has taken command. They lead it 108-99. Rashard Lewis not able to hit from three-point land. Allen Iverson is back. Iverson for Ilgauskas. Perhaps an extra step by Allen, but got it to Zydrunas. Ilgauskas. 10 assists for Iverson.
14.7 rebounds now. So Ilgauskas has quietly worked himself into a nice game.
Here's Bryant, rejected by Ilgauskas. Now Bryant over James for 3. It's an 8-point East lead. Ilgauskas not able to handle that pass. Marion for the trailer. Lewis kept alive by Rashard Lewis. And a reset. Well, Bryant decides to fire and hits from downtown.
Here we go.
That's the reset. Give it to Kobe.
If you need a comeback, I don't know if there's a better player in the league to give the ball to than Kobe Bryant. This guy's hit more big fourth-quarter shots in the last few years than anybody.
7 of 10, 16 points for Kobe Bryant. Iverson. Yao with the rebound. Bryant and Ginobili in the backcourt. Yao is up front. Oh, Kobe again from downtown. Yao with Lewis and Marion on the front line, and a foul is called. A reach-in foul on Lewis.
Well, looks like Big Shaq's coming in, Doug. Here's that magic time you talked about, that last spurt. It's a close game. Game's on the line. Now the coaches go with the lineup they think can win.
Wayne O'Neal and Shaquille O'Neal check in. Wayne Wade is back. Ray Allen has come on for the West, as has Dirk Nowitzki and Amari Stoudemire. And Greg Popovich staying with the thought of resting Tim Duncan and Kevin Garnett, because both have been playing hurt. The steal by Iverson. It's taken back by McGrady. Here's Bryant with the lob. Amari Stoudemire puts it down. The West with it 3 with 5.5 remaining in the fourth. And here's Wade right back.
He is so explosive. He reminds me like of a running back in football. He's so powerful, low to the ground. Powerful finish.
Now McGrady looking to post. Iverson was battling for position and was able to break it up. Timeout called. 5:19 left in this fourth quarter. It's a 112-107 Eastern Conference lead.
Well, we saw some of this at the slam dunk contest last night. Amari Stoudemire grabbing the lob, and look at the reverse. Unbelievable athleticism.
Floppy 3. Floppy 3. Hey, go to work down there, boy. Way to run. Way to run. Hey, Mac, good pass, Mac. Way to go, boy. That's what's up. You know, it's always about the game. But for now, no.
And Kobe Bryant prominent in this West comeback. Last 3 possessions, he's hit 2 from downtown, and he threw an alley-oop to Amari Stoudemire.
It's going to be interesting to see the Lakers now down the stretch, Doug, because Kobe is now back. Obviously missed 14 games, but they've struggled without him. Do they have enough to make that push and secure that 8th playoff spot and hold Minnesota off?
I think that he and Lamar Odom are going to have to play well together. That's going to be the key. Then Ron Butler can follow, and Chucky Atkins and the rest of that team, Chris Mann, but those 2 guys have to play well.
Bryant 7 of 11, 16 points, also has 6 assists. Here's Bryant for 3, rebounded by Jermaine O'Neal.
Greg Popovich is down there saying, you make all of those down the stretch against us. Why aren't you making them now?
Bryant hounding Iverson and is called for the foul. And for the West, their 4th team foul. And now with 5:02 remaining in the 4th quarter, this becomes a regular season type game.
Well, you saw the defense that Kobe was playing on Allen Iverson. Look at the difference right now. He's glued to him.
Oh, nice fake it. Wade takes it the distance.
How good is he on that baseline?
7-point lead for the East. 10 points for Wade. Pass intended for Stoudemire. Here's Wade with Nowitzki back. Nowitzki got a piece of it.
Yeah, the defense has picked up noticeably. You're seeing guys rotate over, going for steals, helping. You didn't see any of that the first 40 minutes.
The East with 20 on the shot clock. Wild pass and a bad pass thrown by Iverson. Here's Allen taking it to the rim. Allen Iverson has played exceptionally well here tonight. 15 points, 10 assists, but he just flung that one over his head, leading to the bucket. 114-109. The East with the lead as we come up on 4 minutes to go in this 4th quarter. A friendly red for Jermaine O'Neal, who has had an outstanding game. He's done his damage in the second half. 14 points in all for Jermaine. That is last touch by the East. Kobe able to play it. Here's Kobe on a crossover, setting it up for McGrady. Shaq with the outlet for his teammate Wade. Dwayne Wade lays it home.
Superman to flash. That's what we've seen from Miami. And that's why they are one of the favorites in the East, those two players.
118-109. The East on top. Allen. See Shaq come out to play Allen. And Stoudemire fouled by Jermaine O'Neal.
Very balanced scoring on both sides. You see the leading scorer in the game is Kobe Bryant with 16. Nobody on the East has more than 15. You see the minutes are very evenly displayed. So both coaches, I think, are doing an excellent job of really letting everybody have a chance to show what they can do.
Reminder, NBA Rivalry Week starts Tuesday night on NBA TV. Lakers hosting the Celtics. And then on Wednesday on ESPN, it's Houston at San Antonio. Here's Wade. And deflected out of bounds by McGrady. The East has won 33 NBA All-Star games. The West has won 20. However, the West with 3 straight, 4 of the last 5. Just under 3.5 remaining in the 4th. Shaquille O'Neal. McGrady saw the opening, puts it off glass. Able to finish. Now you would think this would not be the time to pull that play off, but he saw he had the gap. Wade again, and draws the foul.
I think when you play Dwayne Wade, you've got to get 1 foot out of bounds. He gets on that baseline, and you can't stop him. And what happens is you get offensive rebounds. He gets that ball up on the rim. Here's McGrady. We've seen it 2 other times in 2002, 2004. We saw Vince Carter with a powerful dunk early in the first half, and this is just a sort of a George Gervin finger roll there at the finish.
13 points for Wade, 9 of the 13 here in the 4th quarter. Dwayne Wade in his 2nd NBA season. Adam Marquette, his first All-Star game.
I don't know if anybody knew how good Wade was going to be. There were questions about whether he could play the point guard spot, questions about his outside shooting. He's been absolutely phenomenal for Miami.
Bryant not able to hit on the reverse. James for O'Neal. Shot with McGrady looking to avoid Shaquille O'Neal. Nowitzki. Ari Stoudemire coming up short. The last touch by the East. And with this game winding down, time to start thinking about most valuable player.
This might be the most balanced all-star game you've seen in terms of scoring. I mean, you look at Iverson, James, Duncan, and Bryant, all of them very, able to be the MVP. But, Iverson has 13 points, 9 assists, but he also has 4 of 14 with 6 turnovers. So It'll be interesting to see who is the MVP here today.
Duncan's got the best numbers, 7 for 10 from the field. As we saw, 15 points, 9 boards, but they're going to lose probably. So this is a tough one.
Wayne Wade has come on late, as has Jermaine O'Neal. Here's Allen. Yes, that's another 3. That's 5 from downtown.
This game's not over yet. If Ray Allen hits a few more field goals, he might be the MVP.
That's right.
Allen is 5 of 8 from beyond that three-point line. Here comes the West. Allen again from way downtown. Back tap by Nowitzki. McGrady passed on the 3. Allen in position for 3.
Oh, that's wide open. He usually doesn't miss that.
Nowitzki. He draws the foul.
Yeah, I spoke too soon. I said this game was over. It's only an 8-point game. There's 2 minutes to go, and Nowitzki's going to go to the line, so it's far from over.
And it's not like anybody's going to use the clock. I mean, Easton's not going to come down and milk clock. You know that.
I don't think they're going to go deep
no.
4 corners right now.
No, they're not going to use the shot clock. Wow, Nowitzki missed the free throw. Ray Allen missed a couple open threes, trying to carve into this lead.
Ray Allen now has 19 points. 5 from beyond that three-point line. The All-Star game record is 6. Mark Price holds it. He hit 6 in 1993.
I think he had 5 of them in 1 quarter, if I'm not mistaken. He was on fire that night.
The East with a 7-point lead with the basketball. Iverson protecting against Bryant. Here's Wade. Jermaine O'Neal. Kept alive by Wade. Iverson off the hesitation, finding O'Neal, and he's fouled.
He got a new clock, but they went right back to the basket, so they're going to keep attacking. They're not going to play the clock.
Jermaine O'Neal to the line, fouled by Kobe Bryant with 4. On Bryant, both teams are over the foul limit, although this in the act.
Jermaine O'Neal quietly's had a nice night, 14 points, 5 rebounds, 6 of 10 from the floor, so just so much balance in this game. I think you have to give the coaches a lot of credit as well as the players. They've really looked to get each other involved in this game. They've been very, very well played. The turnovers have been kept down to a minimum, although the West does have 24 turnovers, which has led to 19 points, which could be the difference in the game.
And 3 of 4 at the line. The East now leads by 8. West looking for a quick shot. Minute 25 remaining. Allen stopped by O'Neal. He had nowhere to go. Last touch by Shaq. And the West will put it in play. They have 14 on the shot clock.
See if they can run an out-of-bounds player. They probably just put 1 in during practice, and no, they don't get much from that.
Nowitzki trying to set a screen. And knocked out of bounds by Wade. So they reset the clock. Once again, the West with 14 on the 24.
It's like Greg Popovich is going to take a timeout, and he carries cards, Marv, with him when he coaches the Spurs, and he has set plays for certain guys that he likes to run in this situation. We'll see what he pulls out, maybe to get a Ray Allen a jumper.
Shaq, you got Stoudemire. Good job, Ben. Not playing hard enough. Come on now, get on the glass, all of you. Let's go. Hey, let's win the 2.5 minutes. Don't let it get close.
Marv, you got to go the money angle right now if you're Stan Van Gundy. When I was in Cleveland coaching the game, we were down 20 in the first half, and I was in a timeout, and I said to Michael Jordan, I said, Michael, you realize the winners get 12,000, the losers get 6. And his eyes got real big, and the 20-point lead was evaporated immediately. We went on to win. Really, it was more said because the coaches get the same amount, and that difference is a lot more to the coaches than it is to the players. Sometimes you got to go to the money routine, though.
You don't think Michael was having trouble paying the rent at that time? That $6 grand wasn't that big of a deal?
I think he was all right.
Doug cutting right to the core from a motivational point of view. Here's McGrady trying a three-pointer, kept alive by Stoudemire. Allen challenged O'Neal, and Iverson is on it with just under 1 minute remaining in the game. The East 123 and the West 115. And now Iverson playing the clock. Here's Iverson trying to throw off glass. Did not work, and that did not work Iverson was out of bounds. He had stepped on the line. So the ball back to the West. We're down to 40 seconds.
Doug, I see you staring at your MVP ballot. You don't know who to take,
I
do you?
have no idea who to pick as the MVP. I mean, the East has been so balanced, and I want to vote for a guy on the East who's won it. Here's Ray Allen once again trying to tie that record.
Mark Price with 6 3-pointers and an overtime. Look out, Bryant called for the foul and able to help Iverson back on his feet. No player with 20 points. The high man in the game. Ray Allen with 17. The last time that a player did not score 20 or more in an All-Star game, 1981. The high men Dennis Johnson and Paul Westphal. They each had 19. Doug about to prepare his ballot, looking puzzled.
I'm waiting for that stat sheet to change, and it's not changing.
Just vote for Ralph Nader. Let's just throw his name on there.
We're down to 15 seconds. Wayne Wade is dribbling it out.
Shaq with the 3. Come on, Shaq.
Here it is. So the East has defeated the West 125 to 115 to put an end to that 3-game Western Conference winning streak.
All right, thank you very much, and it is my pleasure now to introduce the commissioner of the NBA, David Stern.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in thanking the city of Denver and beautiful state of Colorado, together with the Denver Nuggets and Kroenke Sports, for doing such a great job hosting our All-Star Weekend. I also want to thank all the NBA players and WNBA players and NBA legends and the NBA family who are around this community doing the things that NBA players and the whole NBA family do all of the time. I'd also like you to give these All-Stars a hand for the effort today and all weekend. But tonight, the veteran, the star of stars, Allen Iverson, is the MVP with 15 points, 10 assists, and 5 steals.
All right, AI, the last time the East won this game, you were the MVP. How's this feel again?
Feels great. First of all, I want to just thank God, because without him, none of this would be possible. I want to thank my teammates in Philly. I want to thank my coaching staff in Philly, because without those guys, I wouldn't be here.
We heard you earlier in the night saying that you were getting, I don't know if it was lightheaded or a little tired, a little winded. Things are pretty wide open in the thin air here. Did you get your second wind?
Definitely. I eventually caught it. I said at halftime my teammates was going to joke me when I get home because I never get tired, but I was kind of tired out here today with the thin air.
Shaquille O'Neal has said he's the difference maker. When he's in the West wins. He's come to the East. How big a difference was the big fella tonight?
I mean, Shaquille O'Neal. The name alone says enough. I mean, he's the greatest player to ever play this game, and it don't get no better than that.
Allen Iverson, the most valuable player again of the 2005 NBA All-Star Game. You want one more?
Yeah, and I just want to thank my mom, and I want to thank Gary Moore, and most of all, I want to thank my wife for taking care of me. And this is for my best friend's mother that passed away. This is for her. So this is for you, Face Steel. I know you're watching me. Rest in peace.
Well said. Thank you very much, Allen, and congratulations to you. Allen Iverson, the MVP. And we will be back to wrap things up from Denver in just a moment. The East winning over the West by 10.